Hi, it's Dave T here, and something a little bit different today, and something I've been wanting to do for quite a long time, and that is properly film a road trip. And it's always been challenging because obviously the car's moving, so you can get a shot from inside the car, so strap a GoPro onto the outside of the car, something like that. But that's not the most exciting of kind of films, and I've always wanted to do it properly, and of course that's really awkward because if you want to get external shots then you need to keep stopping and starting and either have a second film crew or something. But we're actually here in mid Wales today, just near the Brecons, just slightly north of a very small village called Cilycwm, near, I believe it's Llandovery, and we're heading up to a reservoir near here, and I've heard that it's like a really quiet road, very windy, very picturesque, and perfect for the sort of footage that I've always wanted to capture. So to do this, we're going to be using several cameras. So I've got a GoPro mounted on the side of the car. We may move that around to different positions on the car as we go along. I've got an 80D mounted inside the car just behind the front driver's seats, so we can look through for the car, and also that's probably going to be used to record the sound, where we're going to record that on a wireless Go system. For the main shots I'm going to be using the Canon EOS R mounted on a tripod in various other positions, and of course in scenery like this we have to have a drone with us, and I'm using the Mavic Mini, that's the Mavic Mini 1, and that's ideal for this sort of situation because apart from anything else it's within reason legal in most situations. So where we're going it's very quiet. I've checked on drone assist and so on, it's perfectly legal to fly up there apart from in one particular location which we'll talk about later. And the other most important thing I'm taking with you is my friend Ian, who is going to be co-pilot, so when I'm filming he can drive and so on. So everything's legal and above board, and hopefully it's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes. So the plan is to head up from the campsite where we are, up this road here. We can cross over the river Towy here, there's quite a nice bridge there I believe, and then we head up to the end of the reservoir where the dam is, and that's quite impressive I believe, but we can't fly a drone there. And then the fun begins on this section of road here, which follows pretty much the edge of the reservoir all the way up to the tip, and that's where we're going to head to. So the first bit we want to film is going to be going over the bridge over the Towy. Yeah. It's quite a nice old-fashioned, well not old-fashioned, but it's quite an interesting style of bridge. So what we're going to do is pull up beforehand and park, and then I'll jump out, you drive, fire up the walkie-talkies, and in theory I'll set up the other side, and that way we'll have the GoPro inside camera, and then I'll be waiting on the other side of the bridge. We should get a few shots of coming over the bridge. Right. Be interested, in theory, or it won't work at all. These cyclists past. Morning. So the reservoir here is called, I'm going to pronounce this probably incorrectly, Llyn Brianne, and it was actually constructed in the late 60s, early 70s. It's basically clay and stone, and pretty much everything of the dam was actually taken from locally. And what the purpose of it is actually to regulate the water coming down the river Towy. Nearby Carmarthen, they actually take water out for drinking water, and this is used to regulate the flow. So in effect, the reservoir behind me, which is probably about half full at the moment, is actually reserve water for serving most of South Wales, going all the way over towards Cardiff, with water. And during the summer, when there's less natural water going down the river, they let the water flow out of the reservoir here, and obviously during the winter then they stock it up over here. And the sluice, or the slipway, which overflows if there's too much water, it's quite a dramatic fall, looks like a giant ski ramp. And believe it or not, until probably 20 years or so back, some people actually used to use kayaks and go down there, and obviously that was quite dangerous and they banned it. And now pretty much all swimming, water sports, I believe even angling and so on, is banned on the reservoir, and there's a local order to ban any kind of water sports activity, boats and so on the reservoir. So the next stage is the real part of the journey, where we're going to basically follow the road which goes off around the reservoir up the eastern coast of the reservoir, and that's where we're going to try and get the best shots we can. The weather's closing in a little bit. I'm hoping the wind in particular, because we've only got a Mavic Mini. It's great for being able to fly in slightly more controlled areas. Can't fly it here because it's a security risk, because it's a hydroelectric dam also here, but it's not great in high winds. So hopefully we're going to be able to get the drone up, and let's see how it goes. So this is the issue. We have to run after the car after it's stopped. So we're now almost at the tip of the eastern coast of the reservoir. The weather is starting to close in, the wind's getting up a bit, so we're going to call it a day for today. It's been absolutely fantastic filming. It's the sort of filming that is why you kind of get into filmmaking in the first place. So it's been great to do it, very challenging. I couldn't have done it without the help of Ian, who, whilst he hasn't been on camera, has been invaluable in terms of doing the driving, so thanks to him for that. And in terms of just generally the footage and the exercise of capturing this sort of thing, it certainly is challenging. There's a lot of stopping and starting, keeping it safe obviously. We're always pulling into laybys and so on, so it's a question of finding laybys, me running ahead, getting film of Ian driving past, whether it's drone footage or static camera footage, and then chasing after the car because he pulls in on the next lay-by, which may well be 50 yards down the road. So it's certainly been physically challenging, but enormous fun, fantastic sort of thing to do. And as I say, the sort of thing I really wanted to do when I started getting back into filmmaking is capturing a bit more dynamic stuff in wonderful scenery like it is here in the kind of Brecons in Wales. So hope you have enjoyed that slightly out of the ordinary film from my point of view, but I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do hit that like button, and if you want to see more in films that I make, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. But most of all, thanks for watching. Right, time to go back and get some brunch.